I'm Elliot.
And for our science fair project, we tested the optimal shooting height for a foul shot. We hypothesized it would be between 14 to 16 feet. This means that when a shooter shoots the ball, when the ball is at its peak, it'll be about 14 feet between the ball and the ground.
14 feet is an optimal height because it allows for the largest diameter of the rim or the largest viewing angle of the ball. But as you change the viewing angle of the ball, the effective surface area becomes smaller. The effective surface area changes the amount of room for the ball to enter front and back, but it does not change the area from left to right.
If the ball was shot at an infinite height, it would come down at a 90-degree angle, and this allows for the greatest effective surface area, so the ball has more room to enter the hoop. This creates two problems. If it did hit the rim, the speed at which it comes at is more likely to bounce off, and the player is unlikely to shoot it that high. But if the ball was shot at a lower angle, it has a very small window to enter the hoop.
So any projectile fired in a gravitational field will travel in a parabolic shape. This is an example of a parabolic shape.
That is why we think that 14 to 16 feet is the optimal height, because it allows for a player to shoot the ball and come in at a good angle with a large enough surface area, and players are able to do this in their capability.
There have been many studies regarding what the optimal arc for a foul shot is. One of the studies is the NOAA basketball system. They say the optimal angle is 45 degrees. North Carolina University disproves this by saying the optimal angle is 52 degrees. We built a device to measure height because we didn't have the resources to measure angle.
To build our device, we used 1x3 wooden planks, and this is the window you would shoot through. This is our first version, which we used duct tape. We used 2 triangular bases to support it.
However,
we had no side structures, so it collapsed easily. But here, we added a support beam to give it more stability.
Clever.
And on our final device, it was adjustable, and it had 2 support beams, so it would not sway side to side. But it was still very unsound.
It looks good. This is us shooting through our second version of our apparatus. This is about 13 feet, which is lower than what we thought would be the optimal height, but it's still really high. As you can see, it's pretty difficult to go through the window at the top. Andrew is usually a 50 or 60% foul shooter, but here nothing's going in for him. The device makes us very nervous because it wasn't very stable. I found this apparatus hard to shoot through as well. You could get good at it eventually if you took enough shots. Me and Andrew took way more shots than all of our other test subjects, so we became better at it by the end. That was a perfect swish, but the shooter's role is what we really wanted to happen. Missing by a little bit, but still having the ball go in. This is an example of a perfect shot. He hits a deep leg bend and a one-handed release. He releases it about 45 or 50 degrees. At the top, it goes about 12.5 feet. Gravity pulls it down from there, 32 feet per second squared. Since it's a lower shot, it doesn't allow for a lot of speed to build up. It was really nice to have finally removed the shooting device. It allowed us to focus all of our energy on the shot and not so much going through the window. Even though we removed the device, we still had to focus on the height of the shot. Andrew, later on, shot 13 for 15 after removing the device on 3 different heights, which was much better than who's 0 for 10 on the highest height with the device. This is our data sheet. On the top we have the shooter's name, height, and release point recorded. We also have the distance the device was from the foul line and the height of the device to the bottom bar. Here we have whether the shot went in or out, whether it went left or right, or long or short. We also have whether it hits the wood or not, because it could have gone in if it hadn't hit the wood.
Here's an overall summary of our information. On the left, there are individual tables for each of our subjects. And here's the table for subject J. Each subject took 10 shots at 147, 138, and 130 inches. Here you can see that subject J preferred the higher heights and shot poorly as we decreased the height of the foul shot. Looking at the individual height of 147 inches, each subject shot very differently. As you can see, subject J preferred the higher height, but in contrast, subject E and A did not do so well. They shot poorly.
So Andrew, do you think this is the device to fix all foul shooters?
Quite frankly, I would say no. Although the device was able to measure the height of a foul shot, it would not help anyone correct their foul shot and shoot a new height. Because when a shooter shoots at the preferred height through the hoop to the device, it's no problem because they're used to that height. But when you change the height of the device, they are more focused on shooting through the window, not actually shooting through the hoop. So, Elliot, what would you tell foul shooters in regard to height and arc?
Although I can't disagree with the NOAA and North Carolina University tests that assert 45 degrees or 52 degrees is the best angle, I can tell young shooters that the most important thing for them is keeping their shot straight and having a one-handed release. So Andrew, any last thoughts for young foul shooters?
Well, once you have a comfortable release and arc, and you are confident in your technique, most importantly, you should
Practice.
And do the Harlem Shake. And do the Harlem Shake.
Does it hold together though?
Oh yeah.
So what makes it strong now? Triangles. Cool. Beastly. Okay.